Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to Laura and Mike, who you may know better as Bunny and Fox. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to episode 100, the first of my series to reach a triple-digit episode count. You know, all things considered, I'm not sure how to feel about that. On the one hand, I love playing Battle Brothers, but on the other hand, I've been at this for 16 months now, and we've been having more and more technical issues the further into the series we've gotten. Really, I think at this point, I'll be sorry to see the series go, but at the same time, I'll be happy to finally move on to something else. Not for too long, though. After all, we do have that Beasts and Exploration DLC coming out at the end of the month. Oh, hold on. We're going up against Necrosavants. We'll have to rearrange our lineup before we actually go in there. Yeah, we can't risk sending archers up against Necrosavants, so we'll have to send someone a little sturdier in their place. Besides, this'll give Dominic and Sir Skelibate a little more time on the battlefield. They both joined the company pretty late in the campaign. Anyway, let's get in there. Okay, so we're up against a medium group of ancient legionaries, but this dense wooded terrain should do a pretty good job of breaking up their formation. It's the Necrosavants we really have to worry about. Those guys like to teleport around and target your weakest or most vulnerable units. Let's see if we can bait the Legion towards us without setting off the Necrosavants. We'll have to keep the company clustered up though, so we're ready to respond once they do start teleporting in. And here comes the Legion. I was really hoping the terrain would cause them to put some of their pikemen up front. No luck, though. Well, let's start trimming off armor. Again, we don't want to move up too far, or we'll end up setting off the Necrosavants early. It's better to hang back a little and let the Legion come to us. Alright, moving it around 2. We'll keep holding position for now. Might as well get our spears ready, too. I probably should have put Kazran up there. Well, at the very least, Belfontaine can certainly use that defense bonus. Yeah, the real downside to not having our archers here is, ooh, nice hit from Janos. Anyway, the big problem we have here is that, we don't have anyone to clear these shields away. Hold on, we're getting flanked by a whole bunch of pikemen. Well, our heavy hitters are tied up on the center line, so we'll have to see if our shieldmen can slow these guys down. Oh, and here come the Necrosavants. Thought we had one more turn. Huh, that wasn't too bad. A few dings to our armor. Nothing to worry about just yet. Nice hit. Roderick tears through their front line. Ah, I got this gets first blood. Metaphorically speaking. It's a good start, but we really need to take out these Necro Savants. The longer the fight drags on, the more dangerous they become. Alright, let's have I got hold for the moment. We'll conserve his action points. Dominic wears down our first Necro Savant. Not quite enough to get the job done, though. Alright, let's get Rondus up front. Round 3. Let's see how this goes. Nothing but light armor hits from the Necro Savants. Ooh, and that one's almost dead. Nice. These Necro Savants might not be a problem after all. Igot takes out our first Necro Savant. Then he moves to support Reinhard. Belfontaine's not in a great spot, but let's see if we can work with this. Wow, not bad. Rondus starts dismantling the shieldmen on the north. And Roderick starts working on the shieldmen on the south. Let's get him back on the defensive. We've been pretty lucky so far, but those pikemen can do some serious damage. Ooh. Wow, that is a lot of pikemen. We need to take these guys down a little faster. We need to watch our fatigue levels, too. Moving into round 4. Okay, so far so good. Oh, let's stay focused on those Necro Savants. There we go. Henry impales one through the heart. That last Necrosavant's pretty tough. Oh, nice. Kazarin takes down another shieldman. A lot of hits, but nothing significant. Those pikemen might be a problem, though. All it takes is a lucky hit or two to kill a brother. Round 5. Still can't get through our armor. That's good. Ah, there we go. Woe smashes an ancient shieldman. Sir Skelibate shreds a pikeman's armor. Igot leaves a shieldman on the brink of destruction. Dominic doggedly pursues the last Necrosavant. Oof. Oh, okay. We need to pull Roderick back. Nothing serious yet, but he'll be in trouble if he takes another hit like that. Nice. Rondis chips another shieldman to pieces with his dagger. Man, I really don't like having Belfontaine stuck here, but he'll hold his ground for now. And round 6. Looks like the Necrosavant's going after Rondis. That's surprising. Nice. Roderick takes out a pikeman and falls back. Igot takes out the last shieldman on the north. Let's see here. I guess we need Eraton on the south. Rondis makes short work of the last Necro Savant. Woe destroys a pikeman on the north. Sir Skelibate takes out a shieldman on the south. Roderick will hang back for now. Nice hit. We've almost got the north clear. You know, Bellefontain's actually doing a pretty good job of holding them off. Alright, let's start peeling some of the guys off the north. We really need to take out these pikemen. There we go. Janos finishes off the last legionary on the north. Now let's see if we can wrap things up. Skelibate takes out a pikeman, and the rest of the raiders start moving to reinforce the southern flank. Kazarin is exhausted. Well, it was worth a try. Oh, completely misgauged Rondis' fatigue there. Very nice. Dominic takes down 2 more Legionnaires, and we're on the home stretch. Woe decapitates the second-to-last legionary. And Belfontaine steals the final kill. He really deserves it after holding the line for so long. Looks like Igot just got a level up. He just hit level 15. And MVP goes to... Looks like a two-way tie between Woe and Igot. Good work, guys. Looks like we mostly got trash as usual, but there are a few valuables mixed in. Anyway, moving on. Finally, you got the artifact. You're staring at it when Mark Richards the Pusillanimous approaches. So that's what Count Halston von Ravenholt wants? Hell, I could have crafted something like that and saved us all this trouble. You stow the artifact in a sack and respond. I think he'd know it was a fake eventually. The mercenary raises his finger. Key word, eventually. Oh, Mark, you scoundrel. We have what we came here for. Time to head back. Okay, so we've got another long walk ahead of us. Let's pause things here and we'll be right back. Count Halston von Ravenholt welcomes you into his room, offering you a goblet of wine. You drink as a scribe comes over and takes the relic. He goes to the side of the room and begins measuring, weighing, and even tasting it. You ignore whatever calculations are going on there and inquire about your pay. Count Halston von Ravenholt grins. You're drinking it. You pause with the goblet on your lips. The nobleman laughs. A joke, sellsword. Relax. Here, 2,000 crowns, as we agreed upon. You're a funny guy, Halston. I'll kill you last. Anyway, with that done, we should be one step closer to resolving the final crisis. Let's pause real quick to clear out our inventory and do a little shopping, and then we'll see if we can find another job. Walking corpses shambling about in rags. The graveyards of every hamlet soon began to vomit them up, yet it was only the beginning. Ancient legions from an age-long past awoke. Never tiring, never fearful, they marched on like a cold machine, ever forward. They conquered the known world once, and they may well have done so again, were it not for a tightly knit band of mercenaries. Dead men marching, walking bones in foreign armor, things not from this world. I never thought I'd see such horrors, but we prevailed, Henry Baggins the sergeant exclaims, holding high his weapon as if to signal a charge. The Retcon Raiders prevailed even against this enemy. Who would stand against us now? Who indeed? Well, I knew we were getting close to the end of the campaign, but I didn't realize we were this close. Alright, let's head to Gronenfest, and we'll wait for the final event to trigger. You take a nap. Blackness, darkness, all what a dream should be, save for one small fact. You know you're in it, standing in the void like a lost thought. A voice breaks over you, dripping down from all sides as though you were in the very mouth that produced it. Why did you forsake us, Emperor? You spin about, or at least think you do, for there is nothing around with which to base even the faintest of movements. You promised me, don't you remember? You said it would be okay if it all fell apart. You said you had a plan, that you had made a deal with that ugly, ugly man. What happened? Who was the ugly man? You turn about. Who is the ugly man? The woman's voice stutters in shock. You don't remember. Clearing your throat, you feign the honesty of lost memories. I remember nothing, my love. A great sigh falls over the darkness. You can feel its frustration. She talks with exasperation. "I knew we should not have trusted him. The ugly man came to us in the night when our child was born still. He said if he could take our blood as well as that of our dead child, he would ensure that the Empire would never die, us its eternal rulers. But it had a cost." You quickly figure it out and respond. "He made you barren." The woman sobs. "We should have never trusted him. I will have that ugly man. Have no doubt, Kirim Sulah, I will treat him to eternity, an eternity of pain and suffering." The once black void glows red, flashing a world of crimson, ferocity and color. You throw a hand up, shielding your eyes. She screams, piercing your ears until all you hear is a harsh ringing. "Wake up!" You wake. A rough wind bends the tent, curling the leather and rolling tides across the ceiling. Faint candlelight flicks and dashes darkness and light all the same. Sir Skelibate is standing there, watching you, shadows crossing back and forth across his chest. He shifts on his feet, an uneasy look on his face. "Who were you talking to?" Rolling out of bed, you put your boots to the ground, wanting to be sure of this reality before you dare parlay with it. Dirt rustles and crunches beneath your feet. You answer, "I'm not sure. I think the invasion is over." The mercenary nods and turns a hand to the tent's entrance. "Aye, that's why I'm here. A noble messenger arrived just a minute ago. He says the undead have ceased erupting from the ground. The scribes believe it is over. Are you all right, sir?" You rub your head. Is it time to retire? What can you make of this world now that you know what you do? It is either live out the rest of your days in peace, or say damn it all and command the RetconRaiders to further glory. Well, that is the big question, isn't it? Like I said before, after 16 months and 100 episodes, I think we're ready to let this adventure come to an end. Honestly, I never really expected to make it this far. I've said it before, but I'm not actually all that good at this game. If anything, I'm competent, but certainly nowhere near as good as the players who have actually mastered it. I did manage to keep almost everyone alive, but sadly, I don't think I'll ever be good enough for some of the other endgame challenges, like the Black Monolith. Anyway, for those of you who are really disappointed to see the series coming to an end, I'll see if I can upload a copy of the final save file, probably over on Patreon. And hey, we do have that Beasts in Exploration DLC coming up, so maybe I'll end up starting a Season 2 somewhere down the line. But for now, let's wrap things up and see if we can get a little closure for once. It's time to retire from mercenary life. Behind your leadership, the RetconRaiders acquired great fame around the land, not to mention considerable thanks for helping end a series of crises that threatened the entire realm. Mercenaries don't often make it into the history books, but you've no doubt that the scribes and scholars will run out of ink writing about the RetconRaiders. The former farmhand, Alessandro, retired from the RetconRaiders. The money he made was put towards purchasing a bit of land. He spends the rest of his days happily farming and starting a family, with way too many children. Eraton the Sellsword left the RetconRaiders and started his own mercenary company. As far as you know, it's a very successful venture, and he often buddies up with the men of the RetconRaiders to work together. A former raider, Belfontaine fit in well with the RetconRaiders and proved himself an excellent fighter. Having saved a veritable mountain of crowns, he retired from the company and returned from whence he came. He was last seen sailing a riverboat toward a small village. Bunny, former poacher, eventually saved enough money to leave the RetconRaiders. You learn she found a bit of mountain land and works it for a local nobleman. Ironically, her job is to hunt down poachers. He was with you from the start, Kazarin, and he was with you in retirement, leaving the company not long after you did. But he wasn't yet done with the fighting life and took up fighting for another company, his own. Having learned so much from your leadership, he is making you about as proud as any son could. Ironically, he hates the notion of you being a father figure to him, and you always tell him you'd never father a son so ugly to begin with. You keep in touch to this day. Adventurousness never leaves the soul of a man like Dominic. Instead of returning to his noble family, he left the Retcon Raiders and headed east in search of rare beasts. Word has it that he returned to town with the head of what looked like a giant lizard, but you don't believe in such fantastical tripe. A brawler like Igantis is dangerous with just his fists, and proved himself similarly savage with weapons. Before you left the Retcon Raiders, you talked to the fighter about whether or not he'd stay in the band. He said he had no desire to return to prize fighting, shook your hand, and thanked you for giving him the opportunity. Last you heard, the company chose him for a one-on-one winner-take-all fight to settle compensation differences with a competing mercenary band. He won in the first round. While at a jousting tournament, a young boy was using an oddly shaped yet perfectly crafted bow. His aiming hand was shaky, yet the arrows did not wobble upon being loosed. After he won the competition, you inquired about where the boy had gotten such an incredible bow. He stated that a bowyer by the name of Mark Richards had crafted it. Apparently, he's known for making the finest bows in all the land. Perhaps one of the sharpest men you've ever met, Reinhard the Apprentice was the quickest learner in the Retcon Raiders. With plenty of crowns stored, he retired from fighting to take his talents to the business world. Last you heard, he was doing very well for himself across multiple trades. If you ever have a son, this is the man you'll send him to for apprenticeship. Mercenary work is bloody business, which is probably why a butcher like Roderick felt right at home in it. While an outstanding fighter, you hear that he still has problems with the war dogs in the party, and has been repeatedly caught trying to slaughter them. Eventually, if not desperately, the company gave the man an adorable puppy to raise as his own. From what you know of, the little runt's glowy doe eyes converted the dog Hater into a lover. Now he goes into an insatiable bloodlust whenever a war dog is harmed, and his little mongrel grew up to be the fiercest beast in the company. Rondis, the burly lumberjack, eventually left the company to return to the woods. He started a woodcutting business and operates every day of the year. Luckily, timing was on his side. The nobility have recently really gotten into cabins and are paying out crowns left and right to anyone who can build them. Rowan the Witch Hunter eventually heard word of evil spreading in the northern villages. He departed the Retcon Raiders and has been burning those horrid witches at the stake ever since. A man like Sir Skelibate would always find a way. The Hedge Knight eventually, if not inevitably, left the company and set out on his own. Unlike many other brothers, he did not spend his crowns on land or ladders with which to climb the noble life. Instead, he bought himself the finest war horses and the talents of armorers. The behemoth of a man rode from one jousting tournament to the next, winning them all with ease. He's still at it to this day, and you think he won't stop until he's dead. The Hedge Knight simply knows no other life. Dogs were not simply hounds to Woe, despite his title as Houndmaster. To him, they were the most loyal friends of his life. After leaving the company, he discovered an ingenious way to breed the animals specifically tailored to the desires of the nobility. Wanted a brutish beast for a guard dog? He could do it. Wanted something small and cuddly for the children? He could do that, too. The former mercenary now earns an incredible living doing what he loves, working with dogs. While the Retcon Raiders continued on with great success, Wojtek the Hunter eventually saw fit to leave it all behind. He returned to the forests and fields, hunting deer and small game. He rarely showed the grim reality of hunting humans, but you have to imagine he'd just rather stop doing it. As far as you know, he's doing well for himself these days. He purchased a bit of land and helps guide nobles on pricey hunting trips. A man came by your keep the other day. He wanted help on starting a mercenary band, obviously taking inspiration from your own feats. You asked him how many other successful sellswords he'd talked to. He shrugged. "You're the only one so far." You nodded back. That's right, I'm the only one despite hundreds of men like me having been out there. Maybe it's because I'm that good, but I think the truth is I'm just that lucky. So if you want my advice on starting a mercenary company, don't. That's all. One of my servants will show you the door. Good day now. It wasn't the easiest move to leave the company behind, but there's a room in your keep that lets you swim around in gold crowns, so it's not too bad. Now you spend your days not even sure what to do with all your gold. A lot of people come by the keep, wenches of all shapes and sizes, strange men with even stranger gold-sucking ideas, and a great deal of cloaked noble princes humbling themselves by asking for advice on warfare. Some days, while chopping away in your garden, you think about getting back into the field. Boredom, as it turns out, is the most sickly and nasty of beasts you've faced yet.